So economic uncertainty, a tariff war, and artificial intelligence are driving many companies to restructure, tighten budgets, and cut jobs.
So while layoffs can catch people by surprise, there are usually signs that they may be coming, and therefore steps you can take to maybe be prepared. So here to tell us more is author and human resources executive, Angela Champ. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's a great last name, Angela.
It's such a good last name.
That's a great last name. So you've been working in this field for well over 20 years, and you say that there are often signs that a company might be looking to do layoffs. So what are they?
Here are some things that you might want to keep an eye on. First of all, if they stop backfilling vacancies, what I mean is somebody leaves, either quits or is let go, and then rather than hire somebody to replace that, they just redistribute the work. Secondly, maybe what they're doing is they're putting a salary freeze or a freeze on promotion, so there's no movement within the organization. You might hear things like they're introducing EI so that we can be productive with fewer people. You're hearing that a lot more, especially now with ChatGPT. You were talking about that earlier in the segment. And you might also hear senior leaders talking about things like, we're going to streamline operations, we're going to reprioritize our priorities, we're going to become more efficient. All of those together may be a sign that there's layoffs coming in your organization.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So are there any hints that we should look out for to know if our job specifically might be one of the targets?
There are. One sign could be if you suddenly are left out of emails or meetings that you would normally be invited to. Yes, or emails that you would be included, and suddenly they're cutting you out. Or if all of a sudden you're getting feedback on your performance where you might not have had that sort of feedback before. And I'll just say with that, if you are suddenly getting feedback that you didn't have before, take it seriously, take it to heart, ask your boss how you can turn things around, how you can improve, and put a plan in place to improve, because you may be able to save your job. Don't just think, oh, my boss is picking on me, or think that, you know, there's nothing to it, because you could save your job if you do turn things around.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. So let's say you sense that layoffs are coming. Are there steps you can take?
Yes, and you should do this even if you don't think a layoff is coming. You should do this anyway. One is keep your skills fresh. You can take almost free courses through LinkedIn, through your local library, through the continuing ed at university. You could read books, keep your skills fresh. You can't expect that what you learned in the first 20 years of your schooling, of your life, is going to carry you for a 40-year career. The world is moving too fast. Another thing that you can do is network. Make sure that you know people outside of your company. You might know everybody that you work with, but do you know people in your industry? Do you know people in your place of worship? Do you know people that you play sports with? The more people know you, the broader your network, the more likely that if you're laid off, they can recommend you for a job because they now know you.
Yeah.
And the third thing that you can do is make sure that you keep your resume and your LinkedIn profiles up to date. Don't just list the job tasks that you do. Nobody cares what your actual job duties are. List what you've done, your accomplishments. And that also helps prime you so that if you are talking to recruiters or to somebody, you can say, this is what I've done. I've increased revenue. I've become more efficient. I've done this. You want to talk in terms of accomplishments, not just job duties.
Okay, that's a really good one.
That's great. Okay, so let's say, though, you are in the end laid off. What is the first thing that we should do?
You want to make sure you look after your finances. So check to see whether you're eligible for a severance payment or if you're eligible to apply for employment insurance, EI benefits. Go and talk to your bank to see if there are payment options, if you have a loan or a mortgage, like can you pause a payment, can you skip a payment? Sometimes they allow you to do that sort of thing. Check your budget. What are you spending money on? What's nice to have and what's you must have? And maybe pause the nice to have for a little bit, because really what you're trying to do is you're trying to take the pressure off of your finances while you're looking for a new job and new source of income.
Smart. Smart. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about, yes to that. Let's talk about possible layoff packages. Like, if there is a package that you might be offered, or can you ask for one? And if so, are they negotiable?
Yeah,
what's the etiquette here?
Sometimes they are. I would say ask anyway. So it depends on the province or the jurisdiction that you live on or live in, and also the reason you were let go, because there's some cases where you're not eligible. But depending on that, you may be. They look at things like your age, what position you have, how long you've been with a company, and how easy would it be to find a new job in this marketplace. So for example, a 50-year-old person who's a director with 12 years of service in a company is more likely to get a severance package than a 25-year-old marketing coordinator who only has 1 year of service in the organization. So always ask, and if they won't give you more money, other things you can ask for is like, can they extend your benefits? Can they give you partial bonus if you were eligible for bonus? Will they give you career transition services? Will they pay for that? Will they pay for some tuition assistance? Sometimes organizations will agree to do that, even if they won't give you more severance. Just ask.
Just ask.
Yeah.
Great to know.
Just ask. I like that. I like that.
Okay, so let's talk about the psychological side of being laid off, because it can really be quite devastating. How can people handle that?
I would say own your narrative. In this economy, lots of people are being laid off. You're not the only one. And it's not necessarily a failure on your part. It's just part of your career story. So I say practice telling people what happened and how you're going to say it. So you could say something like, I was part of a corporate downsizing where a lot of people were let go, and I'm looking for a role as X where I can contribute whatever it is you were doing in your last organization.
That's great reframe.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but is networking important after you're laid off?
Absolutely, and I said this before. You know, when people are laid off, you lose your job, you might be embarrassed, you might be sad, you might be angry, all very legitimate emotions. And so your inclination is to hide in your home. You don't want to talk to anybody.
It's the last thing you'd want to do.
The last thing you want to do. You want to get out there, you want to talk to friends, you want to talk to former colleagues, you want to talk to people in your network. Let people, you sure grieve, feel those emotions, that's very normal, but make sure that you're out there and talking to people, because like I said before, the broader your network, the more likely it is that somebody will have a lead on a job for you.
Great.
Wow, great advice.
Angela, this was so informative. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you for having me.
So good.